I'm here with Joe with his 03 Marauder. It's the kind of incredible car that you never get to see. Why don't you give us a little bit of a description of what this car is about, Joe?
Okay, Joe and I, basically my son built the car, most of it, except the motor. The motor was built by MMR in California. The heads and the block, it's a cast iron 5-liter block stroked out to 5.3 liters. And MMR rates the motor, it was dynoed on the stand at 1500 horsepower. On the top of it is a 4-liter Whipple, and a 4-liter Whipple is pushing 30 pounds of boost. We also inject meth water in there, and we start injecting at 5 pounds of boost, and we go full bore 12 pounds of boost, and we inject 960 milliliters of meth water in there at 12 pounds of boost. The motor is it's a drag race motor. I had them build this because I had a Terminator in there before, and we pushed it too far, and we put a hole in number 7 piston. So that's why this motor is in there now. The transmission is hardened. It's got steel Colleen clutches. It's got carbon fiber bands. It's got intermediate hardened shaft in there. The tail shaft, we took the output from the pump, the oil pump, and we fed that back to the bushing because they're known to burn up the bushing, the drag racers in the US. So that's what we did to get around that. The torque converter is 3000 stall. The tuning was a nightmare. It drove 2 guys in the US crazy for 2 years. They finally figured it out last year. And I should have went to Matthew to start with. That was a mistake. The engine's got 5 cooling fans. 3 of them are for the engine and 2 for the supercharger radiator. There's a 17-inch pusher fan and 2 12-inch puller fans for the radiator. We're running 3 GT supercar pumps in the tank, and we run, let's see, 2 pumps full time, and the 3rd pump comes in at 2 pounds of boost. The batteries are 2 6,000 amps AGM batteries, and alternator's been a struggle. I've had a lot of custom alternators built for it, and it just can't keep up, and hopefully the one I got now will do the trick. We're just testing it right now.
What is it, 350 amps?
Yeah, 350 amp alternator. It's got 12 diodes and a 6-phase alternator.
And you've been through, 6 alternators?
6 now, yes. Yeah, they all say they're going to last, but it doesn't. It just doesn't. It's the power that this car requires. Injectors are 1050cc, 100-pound injectors. The fuel rail, the fuel hoses is 5/8 fuel coming up here. I had to put a Leeds vacuum pump in when we cammed the engine. I didn't want to cam the engine, but MMR talked me into it, so it was a good thing. I'm really happy with the cam because it really works hard after 3,000. And when we got the engine started, the vacuum was low. I wasn't happy with the brakes, so I ended up putting a canister on there because comp cam says that should do it. It did help, but didn't solve the problem. So the next option was go to a vacuum pump, and I did, and that was the best thing because now I got 23 inches of vacuum all the time. So we also put a sensor on there so that the tuners can monitor the Whipple output. They kind of forced us into that because they wanted to see in real time what the Whipple is doing for the tuning, and I don't blame them for that. So that took quite a bit of work to do, but we figured it out with Joe's help. Joe created a formula. We took the output of a GM actually, and we converted that to analog. And
do you mean the boost output, or
yes, the boost output.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because the Marauder doesn't support it. It's a Marauder ECU.
Sure, yeah.
So we had to do that, and that was a fun project to do. Other than that, they're Metco sway bars. It's Metco underneath. The Watts link is custom Metco, and the pulleys are all double bearing Metco pulleys.
Do you have any track times on it?
Not really, Matthew. No, we didn't. There's been estimates on it. The tuners, when they tuned it, they got some kind of formula or something, and on the one tune, they estimate it's going to be in the mid-9s. That's what they figure.
And what is it? What does the car weigh?
5,000 pounds with me in it. Yeah. They figure mid-9s is what they estimated. And
you're only about 100 pounds yourself, though.
I wish I was. Those batteries are 100 pounds each in the back, eh?
And there's 2, right?
2 100-pound batteries in the back.
Yes. Oh my God!
And you can look at the back. Joe put in a monitor so we can monitor the OBD2, everything, all the gauges come up so I can monitor real time. I also got analog gauges to back everything up. and I can control the fans and the fuel pumps from my glove box. In case something happens, I can just get home with it. So.
Well, it's a fantastic car. My personal opinion is this is one of the greatest Marauders ever built.
Thank you, Matthew.
Anywhere. So I thought I would try and get a little shot of it here to show the fans, because they have probably never seen a car like this.
And then we had it appraised, and the appraisal came in at $200,800. It's in the trunk. You can copy that.
Nice.
The guy that did the appraisal. So
perfect. Well, thanks very much, Joe.
Thank you, Matthew.